I think so, yeah. Hello. हाँ ये हो गया ये हाँ अभी ये आ रहा है यूट्यूब पे भी आ रहा है हाँ आ रहा है अभी हाँ आई थिंक हो गया हाँ हो गया हाँ हो गया ये ओके ओके थैंक यू काय बघा हाँ हो पाठवतो हेलो हाँ ते तुम्हाला मी ना ते यूट्यूबची लिंक पाठवली बघा तुम्हाला बघायचं असेल ना तर लाईव्ह तिथून मी चालू केलंय आता सुरू नाही झालं अजून
No, she's fine.
राधे राधे बोलो लाडली लाल की. We're going to get started now. We'll have a little bit of Kirtan and Roop Dhyan to get us started, and then we'll move on with the class. So, Samita, can you put the extra Dolaks just on the side for now? We'll use them later in the class. Good morning, Radhe Radhe to everyone. Okay, boys, I want your water bottles over there, not in front of you. Go and get them. If you need a drink, you don't have to ask. Get up, go drink and then come back. Okay, let's close our eyes. Yesterday I noticed some people gave up before the kirtan even started. You already gave up. You opened your eyes, you were looking around. Let's see if we can do better today. Keep our eyes closed and visualize Radha Krishna. See the beautiful picture? When you close your eyes, try to see that picture. Or if you have another picture you like, just really focus your mind and try to imagine that it's not just a picture, it's real Radha and Krishna. That's the meditation we do. And we'll do a little bit of kirtan along with it. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda bolo re. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda bolo re. Radhe, Radhe, bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe, Govinda bolo re. Govinda bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe, Govinda bolo re. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda bolo re. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe, Govinda bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe, Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda bolo re. 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 Govinda bolo 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 Radhe bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe Govinda bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe Govinda bolo Radhe Govinda bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe bolo re. Govinda bolo Radhe Govinda bolo re. Govinda bolo Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. Radhe Radhe everyone. We're going to continue with the Gita class from yesterday. Yesterday we learned that Arjuna was asking Shri Krishna some questions because he was confused about whether to fight the war or not. And today we're going to see how Shri Krishna started answering those questions. One of the first things Arjuna was worried about was, in this war, people are going to die, and I don't want to cause that. And Shri Krishna wanted to tell him, you do the right thing, because now he started with a very high philosophy. He said, all these people are indestructible. What are you talking about? They can't die. Their body might die. They can't die. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipa. He said, Arjun, there never was a time when you didn't exist. And there never will be a time when you stop existing. There never was a time when I didn't exist, and there never will be a time when I stop existing. There was never a time when all these people didn't exist, and there will never be a time when they stop existing. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. He says, look, Arjun, it's an axiom that if something doesn't exist, you can't make it exist. Like, for example, we have five senses. You can't make a sixth sense exist. And if something does exist, you can't make it stop existing. Science also says this: energy can't be created or destroyed. Whatever energy exists has been here since eternity, and it will always be here. But Shri Krishna, both in Vedas and in Gita, makes it very simple. He says there's only three things that exist. There's no fourth thing, no fifth thing, only three things exist. Can anyone guess what those are? Just tell me one. Yes, Raghav. Okay, humans will say, and that's a good answer. Let's make it a little more general. Let's say souls. Because not only humans are alive, plants, trees, animals, they all have souls. So souls is one thing. Yes, Suvan? God is the second thing. And what is the third thing, Chitra Didi? What's Maya? God's material power. So what does Maya do? Does anyone know? Yes, Suvan? You can say it is the universe. The whole universe is made of Maya. God is the one who holds it in place. Because Maya can't do anything on its own. It's just an energy, a lifeless energy. So can somebody tell me something that's made of Maya, God's material energy? Just give me one example. Yes, a tree. Yeah. Now, in a tree, there's two things. There's the soul living in the tree. That's not made of Maya. But the tree itself, the physical thing, that's made of Maya. What's another example? Yes. Grass. Good. Now, are there two things in grass? Yeah, the living soul and then the actual body of the grass, the physical thing, is made of Maya. What else is made of Maya? Chitra Didi. What's that?
The body.
Our body. Yeah, our body is made of Maya too.
The body is all the body is living material except the soul, and the body is not living.
The body is made of Maya. Our body is made of Maya. But you're not made of Maya. You're a soul. What else is made of Maya? Yes, Bhaiya.
Everything we see around us is Maya.
Good. Everything we can see, the building, the microphone, all our bodies that we can see, everybody you can see, the air you're breathing, the food you eat, everything is made of Maya. And you can say the whole universe is made of Maya. But all the living things in the universe, even down to a bacterium, has a soul in it. And souls are not made of Maya. And then where is God in all of this? Where does God live? Where does God exist? Yes, right? Okay, there's actually three places we can say God exists. He said one, in our heart, or you can say even inside our soul. Where else does God live? Okay, so we'll say God's divine abode. God lives in his divine abode. which we call Vrindavan or Golo or Vaikunt. So in here and in his divine abode and one other place. What's your name? Ishan? Well, in our mind is like saying in our heart, in our soul. Rajaya. Everywhere. God is omnipresent. So he's pervading every mite particle. All the atoms and electrons and protons that all this mite substance is made of, God is inside each and every tiniest particle. And he's inside us, and he's in his divine abode. 3 places. Now, the next thing to understand deeply is that Shri Krishna said none of this ever started and none of it will ever end. So, based on that statement, let me ask you, when was God created? Yes, Prisha. It's a trick question. Okay, so like before the living things, you're moving in the right direction. Yes, what's your name? Arya. So when the world was created is another option. Krish, he was never born or created. He's been there since eternity. Think about it. If God wasn't there, what would be there? Nothing. Then if there was nothing, where would something come from? Where would anything come from? Something can't come out of nothing. So it means God has always been there. And if you say, okay, somebody must have created God, then that somebody was there before God, then we'd have to call them God because they're more powerful than God. So God meaning Krishna, right? Krishna is God. Krishna has many forms like Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, Ganesh. God is one, but that God, Krishna, who's telling us the Gita, he's been there forever. No one ever created him. There was never a time when he wasn't there. He's eternal. And of course, God can never be destroyed. Now, number 2, if God has been there forever, then he must have created us at some point. But if he created us at some point, it means before that point, we didn't exist. Then would we be eternal? No. But Krishna said we're eternal. So it means we've always been here also. Even God doesn't make something out of nothing. He also follows that principle. Na sato vidyate bhavo. If something doesn't exist, it can't be brought into existence. God has never created even one single soul. So then where did we come from? We came from God. We can say we exist because of God, but did God create us? No. God is sitting in here giving life to us. We're only alive because of him, but when did he start giving life to us? Never. It never started. It's been forever. Yes, Suwan? Okay, our souls have been here since God has been here. Just the body is created. And what about, so we covered 2 things, God and the souls. Souls and God have been here forever and they'll be here forever. You were never created and you can never be destroyed. Now what about Maya? The whole universe is made of Maya, right? That's energy. Can energy be created or destroyed? So if the Maya energy is here today, doesn't it mean it must have always been there since eternity? Then when did God create Maya? Okay, I'm not sure if everybody, I'll get to that point. I'll come back to you. When did God create Maya? It's another trick question. Yes. It was never created. It was always there. That's right. God never created Maya. God never created us. God never created Maya. Okay, now when will the Mayic energy be destroyed? Raga? To God. When the whole world gets back into God. That's what someone might assume. When the whole world goes back into God, is the energy destroyed? Goes back into God. It's not destroyed, it's stored, dormant, inactive inside of God. Then, like Suvan was saying, then God activates it and it takes the form of the universe. The same Mayic energy gets activated and deactivated. Like a tree growing out of a seed into a big, huge tree, and then if you could make it go backwards in reverse, and it again disappears back into its seed, and then again grows out of its seed, and again goes in reverse back into its seed. That's what happens with Maya. It's in a seed means the whole universe is dissolved into God. You can't see anything. And then he activates it and the universe is produced. And then deactivates it and the universe disappears. But the Mayic energy is never destroyed or created. Yes, Suwan? Can God be described as a mix of Maya and souls? Actually, no, because God is beyond Maya and beyond the souls. God doesn't depend on Him. Without God, the Mayic energy can't make the universe come into existence. It doesn't have a mind to even decide, okay, let's make the universe. So you can say the Mayic energy is the ingredients and God is the baker. You need a baker to make a loaf of bread, right? The flour and water and butter and salt can't just make themselves mix in a bowl and then go themselves into the oven and get baked. Same thing, this universe can't create itself. God has to activate Maya and keep it activated. Like you have to plug in this projector and it needs constant energy to keep it going. God is the one keeping Maya going. And when he withdraws his energy, the whole thing dissolves back into him and the universe dissolves. This cycle of God producing and dissolving the universe has been going on forever. There was never a first time when God created the universe. If you go before the first time, there was another time before that. And before that, another time. And before that, another time. So it's like a circle. If I show you a circle, can you show me the beginning of the circle? It just goes forever. That's like the universe. It never began, it never ends. Considering that, when was the first time we were born? Yes. Never. He's got it. There was never a first time because what you think is the first time, if you go before that, there was another time. And before that, another time. And if you keep going back in time, you'll never reach the first time because it's infinity. Hard to conceive. Yes. Who has the audience mic? We should have 2 floating mics, right? For people who have questions.
we go to Swargam, does God create like new souls to fill the numbers that go in?
Nope, never been a new soul created. And Swarg is only a temporary place. It's also under Maya. God's divine abode is beyond Swarg. So put it this way. Let's say a soul goes to the divine abode of God and doesn't have to be born in the material world again. Then you would say, okay, one soul has been subtracted from the pool of souls that are being born in this world, right? So would you need a replacement soul for them? No. You know why? The number of souls is infinite. So even if infinite souls get God realized and go to God's divine abode every second, infinite souls, you still have infinite souls remaining over here. You can never run out.
How do we explain intelligence population?
Population of what? Humans. But what things have souls?
Everything has soul.
Right. So there's no assigned like, okay, only these souls are allowed to be born human. These souls are bacteria souls. These souls are tree souls. No, any soul can be born in any species. We have trillions of bacteria on our bodies right now. How many bacteria do you think there are living in this room, in this city, in this world? So how many souls live on the earth? We can't even imagine. So a few more billion souls get the chance to be born as human. You think that made any noticeable difference in the bacteria population? So it's easy to transfer more souls born in this species, more souls born in that species. Any other questions?
Can souls be described as a form of Maya?
No, souls are divine. Maya is material, and no material thing is living. God is living and souls are living. So they're beyond Maya. Yes, Prisha.
If gods were, then would like souls be infinite?
If say again, if God.
So if God's infinite and have a soul,
There's only one God though. That's where I got confused. You said gods have a soul, right? There's only one God.
one God has one soul, and God is infinite, then souls be infinite?
We're not infinite in the same way God is infinite. God is infinite because one God can be everywhere at one time. But we're at one place at one time. God is infinite because one God can have infinite forms, and we can only have one form at one time. We're infinite in this way that we're infinite in number, right? How many individual souls are there? Infinite. But there's only one God who's everywhere at once. There's a big difference between soul's infinity and God's infinity. Shall we fill out some of our worksheet blanks? I didn't give you this word yet for number one. In Sanskrit, an existing thing is called tattva. 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 You can look on the screen if you need to know how to spell it. Tattva. How do you say that? Anyone want to try? Hey, that's right. Tattva. And the three eternal tattva are, you can use any Sanskrit word for God. Like, what's a general term for God in Sanskrit? Yes.
Bhagwan.
Bhagwan. Good. So we can say Bhagwan or Brahm or Ishwar or Paramahatma. Then what's the Sanskrit word for souls? Atma or Jeev? Or you can say Jivatma. And the cosmic power or material energy? Maya. Yes, Suvan. So, okay, he's asking about one word I just mentioned, Brahm. And he said it sounds like Brahma. Brahma is a different word than Brahm. Brahm is a general term for the supreme power, God. So Brahm means Krishna, Ram, Vishnu, all these forms of Krishna, right? Forms of Brahm. But then there's the word Brahma. Brahma is in our world, he has 4 faces. And he's the creator, not of the whole universe. This is a topic I wasn't going to get into in detail today. But Brahma finishes the creation of one Earth planet and planetary system. There are infinite Brahmas in the universe. They are all a part of Sri Krishna. There's one supreme God, but he also takes a form as Brahma in each and every Brahman. So when we use the word Brahma, we're referring to the 4-faced creator of one planetary system. But when we say Brahma, it means supreme God. 2 different words. Arsh, is that your name? Aroha. First and second meaning God and souls. Oh, the next, the age, right? Is that what you're asking? Okay, what is the age of Brahm? Is it infinite? Yes, correct. And what is the age of the souls? Also infinite. And what is the age of Maya? Also infinite. That's right. Maya also never began. To explain this to us, Sri Krishna tells a couple of important points to Arjuna. He says, Ajo nityah shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. He says the soul can never be killed. It's not killed by the death of your body. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnan nyanyani sanyati navani dehi. The soul keeps changing bodies like you keep changing clothes. It's just an exterior covering. You get rid of one, replace it with another. Just like that, the soul keeps discarding one body and taking another body. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, nachainam kledayantyapo, nashoshayati marita. Arjuna, you, the soul, are indestructible. You can't be cut with any weapon. You can't be damaged. You can't be burnt by fire. You can't be made wet by water and you can't be dried out by the wind, because the soul can't be affected by any material power or thing. It's beyond all of this. But the body is temporary. He says your body is born, your body grows old, your body dies. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. It's definite. If something is born, it's going to die. So although the energy your body is made of is eternal, the Mayic energy, but the form of your body is temporary. Like if you go and you get some clay, you build a clay pot, you can say that that clay pot was born. From the moment it's born, what starts happening? On a microscopic level, it's eroding, it's deteriorating, it's growing old. Eventually, you start to be able to see it, not even on a microscopic level. You'll see, oh, this chip came out, this crack happened. Eventually, it will crack, it will break, it will turn back into soil. So every form, from a house, a building that you build, the moment you create it, it starts deteriorating until eventually it goes back into the earth. It could take thousands of years, but eventually it goes back into the earth. So a body, a house, every physical form is created and destroyed, even though the underlying material it's made of is not created or destroyed. So your body was created, and one day it's going to end, but you will never end. You're just inhabiting your body temporarily. Yes. Where's the mic?
Like you said, like God can't. What
Would God destroy the soul? So, see, sometimes people have some questions, philosophical, logical questions, like if God is all powerful, then could he destroy himself? And if he can't destroy himself, then he's not all powerful, right? This kind of logical thing, people. If God is all powerful, can God make a rock so big that even he can't lift it? Could God destroy an indestructible soul? So the thing that cuts through all of these arguments is that God has a nature. And any existing thing, any existing power never acts against its own nature. And God's nature is to live according to even his own rules. And God is good. So it would be impossible for God to ever even think of destroying a soul. He couldn't even think of it, let alone do it. Could God destroy himself? No, no power can act against itself. It's an axiom. It's impossible for fire to burn itself. Right? In the same way, God cannot destroy himself. That's not how the world works. That's not how things work. So God not only couldn't, but wouldn't ever destroy a soul. Yes.
What is salvation?
Salvation in our philosophy means getting free from the cycle of birth and death. I told you that we never had a first birth, right? Since eternity, we've been taking body after body after body after body. So someone might wonder, is there any point to this? Is there any end goal? Yeah, the end goal is to go to God's divine abode and stay there, where there's perfect happiness all the time, and then you never have to die again. That's salvation. It's possible with God's grace when somebody fully surrenders to God. Surrender means you join your mind with God 100% faith. This is why we practice that meditation that I taught you. It joins your mind with God. We call that bhakti. We call that bhakti or devotion. Through bhakti, you can get God's grace and you can get what we call God realized. Any other questions? Yes, Krish.
Why did God make the universe? Why didn't he just keep all the stars in his divine?
Good question. So there's a couple important things to understand. One is that we have never been in God's divine abode. Our identity is that we are souls in Maya. That's where we've been since eternity. So if we've been here since eternity, did God put us here? No, if he put us here, he must have put us here at a certain time. And before that time, where were we? Either we didn't exist or we were in his divine abode, because there's only two places you can be, here or in his divine abode. So if we were in his divine abode, why would he kick us out and put us down here? That's against the nature of God. And if we didn't exist, why did he create us and put us here? He should have created us and kept us in his divine abode. Again, against God's nature. He's not mean. He's not cruel. So the only logical answer, which also fits what we've been learning, we've eternally been right here in this world. God never put us here. We have been here since forever, with the opportunity to reach God's divine abode anytime, but we have to surrender ourselves to God. And why did God create the universe? Let's also look at that situation. He didn't technically create Maya, right? But he does activate Maya so the universe is produced. Then let us ask the question, when the universe was dissolved, during that time, where are we? We're also dormant inside of God. When the universe is dissolved, we call that pralay. During pralay, where are we? Where are we? Inside God, doing what? Are we happy? Are we experiencing God? No, nothing. We're dormant, like in a coma. No awareness of anything. You can turn that off. No awareness of anything. So God looks at the souls. He also sees in my divine abode, there's infinite souls enjoying perfect happiness all the time, who get to talk to me and be with me every day. And then you have all these souls who are in Maya right now. There's pralay, so they're all like in a coma, dormant, pending inside me. Then why should I leave them like this? There's no point to their existing like that. Let me again manifest the world. Even though they're under Maya, at least they'll have a chance to come to me. So he creates the world. Creates means he activates Maya. The world is produced. Then he gives souls a chance to be born as human. He produces the dharma through the Vedas and Gita, and he sends saints on earth to guide us so that those souls have a chance to do bhakti and reach God. Make sense? So if he didn't create the world, none of this would be possible. We would just be dormant inside of him. So God also doesn't violate the rule that we have free will. So he can't make a soul surrender to him. So like, I want to grace you, just surrender to me. Here, I just make you surrender to me. He doesn't do that. He doesn't violate that rule. But he does everything to help us understand what to do to get surrendered to him so that we can get eternal divine bliss. Yes?
So I'm a bit confused because I'm like, you said that we've been on this earth forever, but this earth was created 4.5 billion years ago. So I'm having a problem believing in religion or science because humans only started like 2 million years ago at max.
So the earth hasn't been here forever. Maic energy has been here forever. God creates the universe and dissolves it, creates it and dissolves it over and over again. And whenever the universe is manifested, then the souls are sent forth to take birth. Yeah, so the earth, there's no conflict between this theory and what science has discovered. And you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, who started the Big Bang? Does Maic energy have a mind of its own? According to scientists, the energy was sitting there in a super condensed form, and something activated it and it expanded into the form of the universe. Does energy have a mind of its own that's been sitting there since eternity and all of a sudden it goes bang? Something caused it to go bang. That's God. Yes.
How do you know it created souls on 10th here? Why do we have emotions? Why do we need emotions?
Well, emotions are our nature. We desire love. We desire happiness. That's our nature. That's who we are. We're not math equations.
Yeah, but souls don't have emotions.
No, the emotions come from the nature of the soul, which is a part of God, related to God, who is absolute goodness and absolute love. So that's our nature. That's where our emotions come from. The desire for perfect love and perfect happiness. We are not computer codes. Like our brain is not just a bunch of neurons firing and different balances of chemicals. The origin of all of this is the soul, which is a part of God who is absolute love. All right, so let's fill out the part where it says Ajo Nityaha. I quoted this shlok for you. Aj is an important word in Sanskrit. Ja means that which is born. Ja, like Janma. So if A is a negative, Aj, what do you think that means? Not born. That's right. Never born. So in other words, when were we created? Never. When were we born? Never. Your body was born one day. You were never born. You've been here forever. So Aja, unborn or never born. Shri Krishna is describing the soul. So he says Ajaha, unborn. And Nitya, yeah, or always, you can say. Always exists. Shashwat, eternal, but specifically indestructible. And Sharir, you probably know, right? Body. So Hanyate Sharire, Hanyate means death. The death of your physical body doesn't kill you, the soul. Hanyate means death, and Sharire is body. Sharir. So what is the overall meaning of this shlok? Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are eternal, indestructible, you were never born, and the death of your body doesn't kill you. You can just write that in your own words, how you understand this shlok. Yes.
Moving the cycle of life and death. The body, this body goes, and then you go and
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And how could you find out that this is, somebody dies for everything, and someone dies, how could you say that you both
We say that to make ourselves feel better, but actually only if a person is 100% surrendered to God while they're alive, then they would go to God's divine abode forever and never be reborn in this world. Otherwise, if they hadn't done that, which is the majority of people, right, according to their scorecard, good and bad karma, God gives them their next birth. But we don't like to say, oh, this loving relative passed away and now they've been born as a dog. We say, unka swargvaas ho gaya, unka vaikunthavas ho gaya. Yes.
When we say soulmates, do we mean souls that are connected together?
What a great question. We have a soulmate. It's God. We all have the same soulmate. Krishna is our soulmate. Every soul has eternally been. See, think about the situation. How lonely would it be if you knew one day I have to leave my body and I have to leave people I'm related to, and I'm going to go and be born somewhere else in some other body in some new situation, and I won't remember anything from my last life? How lonely would you feel? Every life I have to go alone? No, but you're not alone. Krishna is, remember, God is sitting right in here. Krishna is with you every life, no matter where you go. He's right here. And he's waiting with open arms. He's like, hey, I'm your friend. Why don't you just remember me? So God or Krishna is every soul's soulmate. But no two souls are soulmates. That idea is a new idea. It's not an matched up soul with then I'll have true love and be perfectly happy forever. That doesn't exist. Two souls might be together again in the next life, but you could be, let's say you were brother and sister in this life. Then in your next life, you might be best friends, born in two different families. Or you might be let's say one of them dies first and the other is born later, then they might be born as your son or your daughter in your next life. So you might be with the same people, but might not have the same relationship. You won't remember each other. There's no eternal soul to soul connection, except for the fact that we all belong to the same Krishna. Make sense? What is number 3? The soul takes a new body, just like when our clothes wear out, we get new ones. What is number 4? This is referring to the body or material things. Say again. Okay, whatever is born will one day die, perish. Good. Now that we have discussed quite a bit about the soul, I want you to just make a list on your own on the next page, and you can discuss with the people around you if you want. You can brainstorm. What are differences between soul and body? So just as an example, I'm giving you the most obvious one. Soul is eternal, body is temporary. So give some other examples of differences between your body and you, the soul.
The body is under Maya and the soul is under. Oh, the body is aging. The body is aging. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Yes. Yes. So, but I think like meeting.
Exactly.
So it's a bit like okay. Put it down.
Because they only have access to.
Yeah. If they sleep, then let's not if they don't.
Yes. बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की. Can we go around and everyone can share one thing they have? Krisha, you want to start? You can just speak loudly. Go ahead, Krisha. I'll hear you. Good. Your soul is one size, infinitesimally small, and it's the same size even if your body's growing, or even if you're born as a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or a blue whale, or an elephant. Your soul doesn't change sizes to fit that body. Shrima, right?
You can see people's bodies, but you can't see a soul.
Very good. Okay, over here, what's your Arna? Yes, Arna, go ahead.
Your soul can never be killed.
Very good. And what about the body? Very good. Pass it on.
Your body is world conscious and your soul is self-conscious.
Say that again.
So your body is world conscious and your soul is self-conscious.
I would say that the body doesn't have consciousness. Your soul has consciousness. You feel through your body, you can feel like, oh, I feel that, so my body must be alive. That's the soul, actually. So I understand what you're saying, but technically the body's not conscious at all. Yes, go ahead, Krish.
Body is mortal, soul is immortal.
Good. Body is mortal, soul is immortal. Good.
The body is physical and the soul is spiritual.
Good, or divine. You can say the body's material, made of Maya.
The body cuts, but the soul doesn't cut.
Okay. The soul, pass it up forward here. The soul can be cut, the body can be cut. Yes. Go ahead, Aradhya.
The body, you can only have one body at one time, but your soul goes in circles.
Okay, good. Your soul keeps taking many bodies, right? Good. Pass it along.
And body is created and soul is heaven.
Say it again.
Body is created and soul is heaven.
Oh, good. So body is created, soul is never created. Good. Just keep passing it along. Yep.
Body is different and soul is the same.
Good. The body keeps changing, right? And the soul stays the same. Someone in the front here had their hand up.
Your body can't grow and your soul cannot grow.
Your body can grow, right? Body can grow and soul doesn't change size. Good. Yes. Let's get this side over here.
Your body is temporary. It's a store for your soul, but your soul is eternal. It can hold many other things.
Good. Okay. Someone in the back had their hand up.
You have senses, but then your soul doesn't have senses.
Okay, good. The body has senses. Soul doesn't have senses. It relies on the body to be able to perceive. Yes.
Body can have gender, but the soul doesn't have
Good.
gender.
Yes.
Body can have relationship and your soul doesn't have relationship.
Except for one. What's your one relationship your soul has?
God.
Yes. Okay, pass it back. Back in the chairs.
Your body has a personality, but your soul does not.
That's pretty close. Let's say mind is also Mayic. This is a little more complex. So far we're talking about body and soul. Sirish, sit down so I can see you. Sit. You have body and you have soul, but there's also a mind. So we actually have three parts to our personality. The body keeps changing. You guys sit quiet. The soul leaves the body, but when it sit over here, keep moving over. Are jaldi bhai. When the soul leaves the body, it takes the mind with it. So the mind is where your personality is retained. All your good, bad qualities, good qualities, what you like and don't like, all of that is retained in your mind. Now, mind is also Maya. So it's kind of complicated. Mind is made of Maya, but it stays with the soul all the time. You guys, you sit over here. Stand up and move over here. Fish, you move back there. So when you go, your personality goes with you. It's retained in your mind. But your mind is not you. The soul is you. Understand what I'm saying? So you have two Maya things, the mind and the body. When you, the soul, leave the body, you take one Maya thing with you, your mind. Your personality is retained in your mind. Now, what happens when you get God realized is gradually, if you practice devotion, like I've been teaching you to remember God, the mind gets purified and eventually it becomes completely connected, completely surrendered to God. Then you get a divine mind. So you're not finished when you get God realization. Just you become a divine personality. Your mind becomes divine. Your personality becomes perfect. Then when you go with God in the divine world, you still have an individual personality different from all the other souls in the divine world. So even in the divine world, people aren't all the same, but they all have a divine mind. And over there you get a divine body also, because you can't go there with a material body. When we say the personality, yeah, the personality is technically not the soul, it's the mind. But the mind always stays with you. Yes, Maya.
Just, yeah, we discussing that right now. Basically, the mind is getting purified as the first happens, and then eventually trying to go to the body.
Yes, that's the ultimate goal. Yeah, and to fully purify the mind and reach God. Okay, yes.
So is the mind just as eternal as the soul?
Yes. Mind is also eternal.
Can mind change?
So you can change the quality of your mind. Your mind is the same mind with you in every birth. You can't trade it in for a new mind. Like we trade in and get a new body, complete fresh start. We don't get a fresh start with the mind.
But you can train it.
You can train it, you can purify it, you can develop the good qualities. Yes, Stevie.
So body has to follow the dharma and soul doesn't need.
A soul wants God. And to get God, you have to do bhakti. The body needs the world, the soul wants God. Both have needs. Yes.
Follow the dharma is basically purification of your mind. Have to go further.
Yes, dharma is to give you guidance to, if you follow it, you improve the quality of your mind. Yes. Very good question. And difficult to understand because both are so subtle, we can't see them. So to imagine them is difficult. And to imagine their relationship is also difficult. So let's think of the soul as the engine. Your true self is the soul. And that's the power source. And the mind is a tool of the soul. So with the mind, we can think. You can say like the mind has a potential to be able to think. Soul has a potential to be able to think because it's alive. But it can't think without a mind. Soul has the potential to be able to experience everything, but it can't do that without a mind and in fact a body as well. Does that kind of make sense? Yes.
Outside of the physical body, come back to our family place. We learning there with the spiritual guide in our, when we are back to our permanent place.
What permanent place?
Into the divine world, I don't know.
So back to our permanent place doesn't exist. We've never been in the divine world even once. That's the goal to get there.
I appreciate it. Once I'm free from this physical body.
Which doesn't happen just by dying. By dying, you leave this body and you go to another one. The only way to get free from this cycle is get God realized and go to the divine world. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't, then you go to Swarg or you go to Narak.
If we going back to Swami, does it mean we will be still belonging there?
No, if you go, so we haven't really addressed this topic, but there's two other areas in the Mayic realm. It's not the divine world. Within the Mayic realm, there's a heaven and hell. There's a Swarg and Narak. Those are temporary places, temporary reward, enjoyments in Swarg, and temporary jail sentence in Narak. In neither of those places can you do new karma. You can't progress, you can't do devotion to God. Only when you're born as a human on earth, you can do new karma, or you could do devotion and you can reach God.
We always need body to do our work.
Yes, you need a human body, not just any body. Yes. Turn the mic on.
You be born in a different, like a different earth.
Yes, you could. But see, the earth, as you are stating, has a lifespan, right? It was created at a certain time. At a certain time, it will also finish. Pay attention here. It will also cease to exist at a certain time. But there's always places in the universe where there are existing earth planets where souls can reside. So if our earth planet finishes, we can all be born somewhere else in the universe. Yes, over here, far corner.
So how about the good karma? They stay with the soul or the mind character?
Okay, so this is probably getting a little too technical, but we have 3 bodies. One body is our physical body. That's called our sthul sharir. That means the gross physical body. Then we have sukshma sharir. That's your mind. The subtle body is the mind. And then you have a karan sharir. That's even more subtle than the mind. That's where your karma is stored. Karma, all your sanskars, your nature is all stored in your karan sharir. Okay, good job. You guys covered a lot of the important points of differences between soul and body. Now, we just have one more thing to finish before we play Jeopardy. So let us understand one final statement of Shri Krishna in here. He tells us that your true happiness is in God because God is perfect. And in this world, you have both good and bad. Just like everything Maya. Remember I asked you before what's made of Maya? And we understood all the physical things, your body, even your mind is made of Maya. So all Maya things have good and bad qualities innate in it. That's why you can't say this person is good, this person is bad, or this is an evil soul. No, actually, souls are divine, so they're not, they're a part of God. They're not, they don't have Maya qualities, but your mind has Maya qualities, so you have good and bad in your mind. Which quality do you develop? You develop the bad qualities, you can behave like an evil person. Doesn't mean your soul is evil. An evil person can become good if they change. A good person can become bad if they change. After God realization, you can never become bad. Then you're only good. But in the world, you always have these opposites, good and bad. Then you can say life and death. It's always pairs. Summer and winter. Beauty and ugliness. Everything is in pairs, and it's the nature of the world that it keeps changing, it keeps fluctuating. Does it stay winter forever? Might feel like it here, right? But it doesn't. Eventually summer. Does it stay summer forever? No, you wanted to, you're thinking, oh, I love these hot days, but you know, oh, it's coming to an end. Oh no. Does your summer vacation last forever? No, you know, oh, I have to go back to school. But does school last forever? No, eventually the next vacation comes. That's the nature of the world. It keeps going through its cycles. Even on the macro scale, the creation and dissolution of the universe also keeps going in a cycle. So we can just make a note, the world has pairs of opposites, like good and bad, life and death, Srishti and Pralay, the creation and dissolution of the universe, hot and cold, wet and dry. Yeah, happiness and sorrow. Very good.
Day and night.
Day and night.
Volume's gone.
And these opposites always keep on taking turns or fluctuating, oscillating. And they are temporary. Number 3, they are temporary. And because of these changing opposites, a person experiences, what do you think?
Joy and sorrow. Joy and sorrow.
Joy and sorrow. But if you know this, then you don't get affected by the world. Shri Krishna told Arjun, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada. This is the nature of the world. If you know that, why do you let yourself get so happy when something good happens and so sad when something bad happens? You know, both are temporary and both are a must in the world. You can't escape it. So instead of being attached to that, why not get attached to Krishna? That's what Shri Krishna is teaching. The world is always going to keep changing and oscillating between these pairs of opposites. So don't expect, we expect one day everything's going to be perfect. One day there will be peace on earth. No, it's not the nature of the world. There's always conflict in this world because there's always good and bad. Oh, one day my to-do list will be finished and I'll have peace of mind. No, never happens. One day I'll have enough money, I'll have no worries. Then why do all the billionaires take sleeping pills to sleep? The beggar in India sleeping on the footpath is sleeping soundly, happily, having a nice night's sleep. And the billionaire in his mansion is taking sleeping pills to get 3 hours of sleep. So the worries don't go away when we get more material things. This world goes on as it is. So stop thinking that we're going to make the world perfect. Be good, live a good life, live according to the dharma, but keep your mind in God. Keep watching the news and thinking, oh, when is all this going to stop? No, it's not going to stop. It might decrease, it might increase. It's never going to stop. This has been going on since eternity. Every time the universe is created, this keeps going on and on. You'll only get perfect happiness if you reach God. Yes, one question.
One new political conflict, why would create a state
So this is a good review of something we just covered. If God knew there was going to be conflict and suffering in the world, why did he do the Srishti? What's the alternative? You remember what the alternative is? Keep them dormant during pralay. So would you like God to keep us in a coma forever in pralay? Because he's like, if I wake these guys up, they're going to start fighting. Would you prefer just to be in a coma? You would? Never experience anything, never have a chance to attain God and get perfect happiness forever. Could he just keep us in his divine abode? To get to his divine abode, you have to surrender to him. And to surrender to him, you need a human birth and you need a saint to come and give you knowledge. Then you have to practice bhakti and attach your mind to him. So for that, we need this world. Well, the main thing is just be okay with the ups and downs of the world. It's going to keep going on. Attach your mind to God. We get depressed when we keep getting disappointed. I want everything to be perfect. It's okay. It's not perfect and it's not going to be. Just keep trying your best, but know that your ultimate goal is to meet your soulmate, Shri Krishna. So that's what Krishna is teaching Arjuna. Imagine he asked him a simple question, should I fight the war or not? And he got this big answer. So in summary of what we've learned so far, this last thing on your page 3, can you fill that out? Page 3 at the bottom, or really it's the middle of your page. According to this whole explanation, what do you have? What answer do you have? I see her writing. What did she write? According to Shri Krishna's whole explanation, why should Arjuna fight the war? Because it is his duty or dharma. Good. He was afraid he would have to kill his, yes, relatives. Correct. Shri Krishna explained that he cannot kill their soul. He can only their body will die. And since the body has to die sometime anyway, so Arjuna should just do his duty and not worry about whose, yes, body is going to die. Yes. This is called Sankhya explanation. There's a whole school of philosophy in our Sanatana Dharma, understanding the difference between material things and divine things. That's called Sankhya. So this is the Sankhya explanation. So now take 1 minute to review your worksheets and we'll play Jeopardy. Want to stretch your legs, stand up. Want a bathroom break? Take a bathroom break, but we're starting Jeopardy in 1 or 2 minutes. So we've done things that made us sad or made other people sad. We have thoughts. So those things are stored in mind. Those things are stored in mind, and then what happens is they come back in the conscious mind, call it a samskar. So at a certain time, a certain samskar affects you. When it's a sad samskar, you get in a sad mood and you're like, why am I sad? I have no reason to be sad. You're just having a sad samskar from your past lifetime. And then it ends and then you feel normal and you're thinking, why was I feeling sad before? Samskars keep changing. So the key is, you know you have to experience those samskars. But the more you attach your mind to God, the main thing is, the more you think of Krishna, the happier you yeah, tell me later. Then I can answer it. Walk it up.
Second one to prove something. Ready? Ready?
Let's take it so that we can. Okay, Radha team, Krishna team, come and sit down.
Correct, correct.
Okay, you guys have to sit separately because you're unable to keep calm.
Krish, come over.
Oh yeah, I was sitting in the middle. This is Radha team, this side of the aisle. This is, you're on Radha team. Krishna team is this side of the aisle. Now, may I hit the space button one more time? Space, one more time. Okay. We have today only the first three columns, 1, 2, and 3. We're not doing. So just as we did yesterday, in case some people weren't here, there will be one captain that will change each and every captain for that question. You get to solve your whole team before answering. Same thing for Krishna team. So yesterday Krishna team went first. Today Radha team will go first. Didi, you choose first one. Up. Chun lijiye. Kaun sa, which category? 1, 2, or 3, and for how many points? Hint. Choose the highest points first.
Column 1, 500.
Column 1, 500. Sanskrit term for an eternally existing thing. Tell your captain if you know the answer. Tattva is correct. Rajbhai is doing the accounting. He's doing the work of Paramatma, keeping score. Okay, Krishna team. Yes.
Column 3, 500.
The meaning of the word shash, what? No looking in your notes. Don't look in your notes.
Eternal,
Yes, or correct, but what's the other?
never-ending, infinity,
Indestructible. Indestructible, yes. But eternal is also.
column 2, 4, 500.
Just tell me one difference, but you have to consult with your team.
Immortal,
But what's the difference between soul and body? Tell your captain has to tell me.
soul is immortal and the body is immortal.
Body is what?
Chill.
Yes, mortal. Good. jaldi jaldi. Wait, show it to all your teams before you go. Hey, don't. Done? Okay, let's. I'm not telling yet. I'm waiting till I get their answer. Then I'll read both answers and give the judgment. Okay. Yeah.
Guys, two minutes.
If you're ready. I mean, they've already given their answer. We're waiting on you now.
Push you do it. Wait, no, not you do it. You want to see you do it.
Okay, one more minute.
Quick. She wants to see the answer. Can you please help her? Yeah, go. There. What do you think this says? How much time do we have left?
10 seconds. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'll read the answers. Radha team said, so we can do bhakti and attain salvation and go to his divine abode. And Krishna team said, so we can go to his divine abode, but if he keeps us dormant, we won't be able to go to his divine abode, and he is causelessly merciful. So Radha team had 3,100 and they wagered 3,000. So now they have 6,100 because they got it right. And Krishna team had 2,700. They wagered 2,700 and they got it right. So now they have 5,400. So both teams got it right, but Radha team again has more points. Well done, both teams were very well. Let me do the answers. Okay, come in and put in your folders. Very well done. You both answered it correctly.
Please tell me if I'm in your way.
No.
Okay, now I need everybody to find their seat because we're going to do the next part of the class. We just had it before Jeopardy. If you need to go, then go. But yeah, I announced that you can go and use the bathroom and do all that. That was before Jeopardy. So Laksha, Raghav, hi. Come and sit. Okay, I need everybody to put their folders and pencils down in front of them so that your hands are free. Oh yes, इसको आप अपने साथ बिठाओ, इसको भी meditation करना है. दूसरा माइक ले लो सबका. Okay, now I need everybody's attention. Pencils down, hands free. Now it's very nice that you've understood the philosophy. Why should we desire God and how do we reach God? Now we have to do the practice. The practice is something you learn and then you do it every day and then you can reach God if you keep practicing joining your mind with God. So we're going to do that now. We're going to start doing some practice. When we do this practice of joining our mind with God, we can also start to experience some happiness. God is perfect happiness, so however much we connect with Him, we get a little experience of that. We feel, first of all, oh, Krishna is with me. I actually feel that. I actually feel Him with me, and I actually feel a happiness when I sense His presence. This is why we want to do this meditation every day. Some of us, all of us, feel some kind of sadness every day because we don't feel perfectly happy. We don't experience God with us, so we feel lonely. This is a cure for all of that, all of those sadness, disappointments, even anger, all of that will subside. Leave all your papers and folders, hands free, water bottle down. Roop Dhyan means we visualize the form of Shri Krishna. The form is very important because that brings our mind into focus. So you just have to do two things. Visualize the form. Visualize means imagine, picturize Krishna's in front of me. And second thing, feel in your heart that really Krishna is here. So faith. The first thing, visualization. Second thing, faith. This is real Krishna in front of me. This is all we have to practice. His grace does all the rest. So let's close our eyes. And each of us can picture the form of Krishna. You can think of his beautiful hair. He has nice locks of hair flowing down to his shoulders, shiny black hair. You can also think of Radharani. Radha is Krishna's female form. Radha has a beautiful long braid all the way down to her ankles. It's so long. And it's beautifully braided and decorated with flowers. Both Radha and Krishna have a beautiful, warm smile. You can think about giving them a hug even. You can think about talking to them, playing a game with them, sitting in their lap, or having them sit in your lap if you want them to be like a small child, your own son or daughter. These are all ways that we can relate to our soulmate, Radha Krishna. Now let us all keep doing this in our mind as we do a couple minutes of Rup Dhyan, as we do some chanting along with it. I'm going to lead the chanting, and you're welcome to sing along. But the main thing is keep your mind focused. If your mind wanders, then again, close your eyes and again, try to start imagining Radha Krishna. Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda 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 Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda 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 Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Everyone can think about how that made them feel. And before we do one final session of meditation, see if you have any questions about this practice, about Rup Dhyan, about Bhakti, anything you want to ask about. Two questions came to me during this class that I want to address before we do the next meditation. One is, can we meditate on any form of God? The answer is yes. Or is there any reason that I'm generally saying to meditate on Radha Krishna? Yes, there is a reason. God is one. But God, so Shri Krishna represents himself in all these different forms that we know. And in all of those forms, he reveals a different part of his personality. As far as being able to love him and play with him very freely, without any restriction or formality, we don't have that freedom with every form of his. For example, you know, in different situations, you have to behave differently. In one situation, you can be wild and shout and play. Like when you're playing outside, nobody's going to scold you for being rowdy. But in the middle of the class, if you're running around, then you get scolded, right? So we have to behave differently in different situations. When you go to the office, there's a certain decorum that's expected. And then when you're in private with your friends or your family, you joke around, you're informal. In the office, you're friendly and polite, but you're not playful. You're not loving, right? You're reserved in your behavior. But with the people who are closest to you in a private situation, you're unreserved. You love freely, liberally. उसी में तो Anand milta hai humko. You don't get happiness by being reserved. You do that because you have to. You get happiness by being free and loving. So Shri Krishna also has these two sides to his personality. The almighty godly side and the loving side. Mainly, these are his two main qualities. Just like you at the office and you in private. When Shri Krishna is revealing himself in totality, he's very loving, playful, even naughty, fun-loving. And when he's reserving that loving side of his personality, then he's very formal and godlike, king-like. This form of Krishna that's very reserved and formal is called Vishnu. That is none other than Krishna, as Vishnu when he's concealing his loving aspect. And when he's partially revealing his loving aspect, so there's still some reservation, but some lovingness is revealed, he's Ram. And when he reveals the loving aspect in full and the formality is completely gone, he's Krishna. And of course, Radha is Krishna's female form. So we can say Radha Krishna, the full divine love form. Sitaram, partial expression of the divine love. And Vishnu Lakshmi, the loving aspect is completely concealed. And the godliness predominates. Now, in that godliness, almightiness category, there are many affiliated forms like Shiva, Durga, Ganesh, Kartikeya. These are all Gauri, Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati. These are all the almighty forms of Radha and Krishna. And then Sitaram is the mixed almightiness and lovingness form of Radha Krishna, and the full loving form is Radha Krishna themselves. So this is why we say there's one single God. And Radha Krishna are not like jumping around, oh, I have to be reserved. Okay, let me become Lakshmi Narayan. No, they eternally exist in all of these forms and they're omnipresent in all of these forms. That's why a devotee of Shiva who's become God realized will see the whole world as Shiva. And standing right next to him, a God realized saint of Radha Krishna, will see Radha Krishna everywhere. Which one is right? Both are right. God is omnipresent in all of his forms. But someone was just asking me, who is that God? If you say God is omnipresent in all of his forms, God has infinite forms, who is that God? Is there some vague being that we call God? No, God is not an actual thing. You're saying what? Yeah, just like fruit is not an actual thing. Can you eat fruit? Okay, what will you do if I say eat fruit right now? What will you eat? No, what? Mango. You can eat a mango. Can you eat fruit? No, fruit is not a thing. Fruit is a word we use to represent something specific that exists in many forms. So fruit is not an actual thing. You can't bring me fruit to eat. You can bring me a mango, you can bring me an apple, you can bring me grapes. Similarly, God is not a thing that exists. Radha Krishna exists. And Radha Krishna exists as Sitaram, as Vishnu Lakshmi, as all these forms, Shiv Parvati. So when we say God, it's a convenient term. It's not an actual concrete thing that you can even attain. You can't say, I attained God. Okay, what? Just like I ate fruit. No, what fruit did you eat? So either you're going to meet Radha Krishna face to face, or you're going to meet Sitaram, or you're going to meet Shiv Parvati. These are the options, not meeting God, some vague idea. You understand? So then we have to then choose whom are we going to meditate upon, because that's whom we want to meet when we become God realized. Knowing that they're all one, but we're actually choosing. But no, I prefer God just being God. I don't want to have like playful interactions like I would with Radha Krishna. I just want to see him sitting on his throne and I'll admire him from afar. Yeah, you'll get absolute divine bliss from that if you get God realized with this Vishnu Lakshmi or any almighty form. But if you have a desire like, no, I want to play, I want to tell a joke, I want to wrestle with Krishna, I want to do Ras Leela, I want to go on a picnic with them, then you would do devotion to Radha Krishna. It's completely up to you. He has no opinion on the matter. Right? Your option. Yes, Didi?
Wanted to ask, so why did he marry Rukmini?
These are all Krishna's forms. Just like I said, Sitaram is Radha Krishna in a more formal form. So Krishna Rukmini is in between. Krishna of Mathura and Dwarika is even revealing more lovingness than Sitaram. So it's like you actually have Vishnu Lakshmi in the spectrum of revealing the lovingness, then you have Sitaram, then you have Dwarikadhish Shri Krishna, then you have Mathuradhish Shri Krishna, then you have Krishna of Braj, Golo, Vrindavan. So who is Rukmini? She is none other than Radharani. Rukmini is avatar of Mahalakshmi, and who is Lakshmi? Radha. So it's like I said, Krishna can be here as Krishna and as Veda Vyas. Right? These are all forms of divine God, goddess. So हम लोग अपनी बुद्धि लगाते हैं with our material way of thinking. How did Krishna do this and that? No, don't apply your intellect in divine matters. It's all God's forms. He's revealing these different options along the spectrum of divine blissfulness. Does that help answer your other question from before, team? Samika? The other question was, is Krishna Vishnu's avatar? And I said, no, there's a confusion about that. I just explained to you that both are one, but actually Krishna is the form where the full divine bliss and power is revealed. As Vishnu, it's the same Krishna concealing part of his power. So what happens is, Krishna, Radha Krishna only do loving leelas or koi kaam nahi karte. The work of manifesting and maintaining the whole universe, they do as Vishnu Lakshmi. That's called Pratham Purushavatar of Shri Krishna. He exists in that almighty form to do that work. Then when the whole universe is created, he's going to make all these, we call Brahman, these planetary systems where there's going to be an earth and souls existing over there. So to manage each individual Brahman, Mahavishnu takes avatar as Brahma, as Vishnu of that Brahman, and Brahma and Shiva. Those three divine personalities manage a Brahman. And there's infinite Brahmans in the universe, so there's infinite branch managers. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar are the local branch managers. There's one big CEO, Mahavishnu, who's managing the whole universe. And he is Ansh of Shri Krishna. He's a part of Shri Krishna's total personality. So when Shri Krishna comes on this earth, it's the big boss who's coming and visiting a small town, right? The small town might have a mayor, and then there's like a governor of that area. But when the prime minister visits, everybody is, oh, prime minister's coming, prime minister's coming. So when Vishnu of our Brahman takes avatar as like Narsingh or Matsya or Varaha, these are his different avatars. But when Krishna comes on our earth, It's not Vishnu who became Krishna. No, Vishnu is the branch manager. Krishna is the multinational owner of this company. He's visiting one of the little branch offices. That's how it works. But we get confused because the Devtas and Swarg, they don't have access to go ask for Krishna's help. They go to the local embassy. Where Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, they're managing the affairs of this little Brahman. They go there and say, can you help us? This big Rakshas is terrorizing us. He says, theek hai, main aa raha hu. So he's speaking on behalf of Shri Krishna. They can't go to Golok and talk to Shri Krishna. They can go to their local embassy and ask for help. So Vishnu is none other than Krishna. But actually when Krishna comes, he's coming from the divine world and visiting that earth planet. So even Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar of our earth come and pay homage to Shri Krishna and to Radharani when they appear on our earth. That's the overall philosophy. Just so you understand, why are we meditating on Radha Krishna? Because they're the supreme form of divine love, but you should never think, oh, they're bigger, they're greater than this form of God. No, they are that form of God. But you can't compare them. If I say you're better than yourself, you'll be like, what is he talking about? How can I compare me to myself? Similarly, how can you compare Shiva to Krishna? They're one and the same. They'll think you're crazy. What are you talking about? Who's better? Who's bigger? It's one and the same, just different forms. Yes.
But once Krishna prayed to Shiva, but why that all the same?
Say that again.
Once Krishna prayed to Shiva, but they're literally the same.
Yeah, so they set an example for us. They pray to themselves in their various forms. Shiva also prays to Ram. Shiva also prays to Krishna. Ram prays to Shiva. Krishna prays to Shiva. When Krishna was on the earth, his mother used to pray to Vishnu, saying, oh, don't let anything bad happen to my son. Didn't know her son is Vishnu himself. This is all God's divine Leela. Yes.
Does Krishna govern over other religions and other forms of him in different gods?
Yes, so that's a good question. In other religions, there is no description of God's form. Like I said, there's a general concept that there's a supreme power that exists. God, right? In Christianity, the word God is used. In other religions, maybe Allah or Yahweh, different words, but the concept is the same. There's some supreme power who knows everything, who is the creator of the universe, and who will give us the consequences of our good and bad actions. That type of general understanding about God is there in every religion. But what does God look like? Only Hinduism tells. There's no other religion that tells what God looks like. So in that way, if you were trying to reconcile the idea that, okay, is the Christian God the right God? You would say, absolutely. They don't have that description in their religion that this is what Krishna looks like. They just call him God. And they don't even know about Krishna, but they know God exists. Okay, well, I'm telling you that God is Krishna. You can't explain that to a Christian. You can't explain that to a Muslim. But they're worshiping the same God we are. They're worshiping Krishna in their own way without knowing it. Put it that way. Does that make sense?
So would you say God manifests in other?
No, that's not what I'm saying. They don't have a description of God. So they have a vague description that there's a supreme power. That's it.
No face.
No face, no form. So they're worshiping the same God we are. But the description is much more vague. The description in Hinduism is complete. Yes, next question.
One God.
Yes.
So it would be like the first God and like only God.
First and only if there was a beginning, you could say first. But he has existed in all of his forms since eternity. But is he the origin? Yes, he's the origin. He's called the Anshi. Anshi means the source, and Ansh means a part of. So all the other forms of God are Krishna's Swansh. It means he himself is revealing a part of his personality in those other forms.
So Christians would worship a god. Is that God as well as Krishna?
That is Krishna, but they just imagine if I wanted to teach you about Krishna, but instead of teaching you his name and telling you what he looks like, I only told you there's some supreme being who looks down on us and knows everything we do and who created the universe. If I only told you that much and I didn't tell you his name and I didn't tell you what he looks like, then you kind of have an idea, okay, there's some supreme power and we give it a word, God, right? That's what Christianity knows about God. They don't know that it's actually Krishna. You getting what I'm saying? Well, it's not that they're worshiping a different God, although they may think they're worshiping a different God. My God is right, your God is wrong. It's not a different God. They just have a vague description of God.
What about books such as like the Bible and Quran? How are they explained?
So I'm not commenting on what is right or wrong in those books, but let's just say, again, staying to that simple statement I'm making, that they have a very brief, pointed away from the mic, from the speaker. They have a very brief or general or vague description of God. So does that mean that description is wrong? No. Right? It just means it's for those people at that time, that's all that was revealed. You can say Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma is the full description, which is for all the souls of the world, but it's introduced in India. And then it's available for everybody. You have to choose a capital of your country, right? Every city can't be the capital. Similarly, the spiritual capital of the earth is India. Yes. Oh, Didi, did you have a question? Oh.
What about old religions such as Norse mythology, Greek mythology?
Okay, mythology is different. The origin of Greek mythology, which later evolved into Roman mythology, were some writings by a blind bard named Homer, who actually heard some distorted versions of the descriptions of our Puranas. For instance, he heard the description of Indra, who's the king of the Devtas in Swarga, who has a weapon, is his lightning bolt.
That's why Zeus.
That's right. So he heard some, through the trade routes, some of these stories from our Puran, which are not stories, they're actual descriptions of real things. They heard them, interpreted them with their own understanding. Of course, in the retelling of stories, things get distorted. And then based on that, he created some characters and created a whole story. And that became Greek mythology. And what happened was when the English went to India and they got exposed to Sanatan Dharma, they saw, oh, there's some similarities between this and Greek mythology. This must also be a mythology. So then they started using the word mythology for the stories of our Hindu scriptures. But that's wrong, because a mythology is a made-up thing that you tell a story for something you can't understand. Hinduism is not a made-up thing. The stories of our scriptures are not a mythology. They're actual descriptions of real events. So never use the word mythology for Hinduism. Okay, so let us finish with one more short meditation. We're going to do it without kirtan. I want you to practice something that you can do every day, even as you're walking or talking. Just for 1 minute. Close your eyes. No talking. Close your eyes and I want you to breathe. Inhale, and as you inhale, without saying it out loud, I want you to say Ra. This is Radhe name we're going to be saying. As you inhale, you're feeling in your heart Ra. And as you exhale, He. We'll all be breathing at our own. Shh, no talk, Sapna, don't talk. We'll all be breathing at our own pace. So we won't be coordinated together. That's okay. You take your own time. Breathe relaxed as you inhale, Ra. As you exhale, He. That's all you have to do. And if you can also think of Radha Krishna while you're doing that, that's good as well. Now you can open your eyes. This is another technique taught by Shri Kripaluji Maharaj for the rest of the day. You might be wondering, this Rup Dhyan you've been learning. You have to sit down and do this with Kirtan to have the main effect. So what about the rest of my day? How do I connect with God? This Radhe breathing is what Shri Kripaluji Maharaj taught. He emphasized it a lot, that as we're walking, as we're talking, it's a little hard. But at least when you're not talking to anyone else, if you're walking somewhere, you're driving somewhere, even you're eating, you're brushing your teeth, you can always be doing the Radhe breathing. You have to breathe. So through this, you stay connected to Radha and Krishna. Now you have received two powerful tools, Rup Dhyan and Radhe breathing. These are the tools for bhakti, the tools to connect your mind to Krishna, so you can keep purifying your mind and getting closer to Him. We have, this is for adults. This is adult reading. Prem Ras Siddhant is Maharajji's main book on all this philosophy. Everything you learned in the last 2 days is in here, plus more details, practical details on how to incorporate all of this into your life. So if you have more questions and you want to understand more deeply, Prem Ras Siddhant is available in the back at the book table. This is the original Hindi. We also have this English translation for those who prefer reading in English. We also have some books for kids which are produced by Jagadguru Kripalu Parishad in India. We have Bhagavad Gita and Krishna. See, it's nicely illustrated. So you get the knowledge, you get the Leela, the descriptions of the stories of Krishna, and you get the pictures to help you understand it and imagine it. We have also Ramayana, similar book. Panchatantra and Mahabharata. So these are very useful books, and we actually use these for as the curriculum for our kids' classes in the Gurukul. Chitra Didi, you can maybe give the Chitra Didi wants to give you some information about our ongoing programs here in this area.
Happy everyone. It's great to see how much kids have learned in these 2 days with Swamiji. I was very amazed when I think Radha's probably the youngest here, I'm not sure, but when he said that, Swamiji said, where does Maya go when it's not here, when everything is not manifested? And he said it goes back to Krishna, stays there until it's manifested again. My God, at this age to understand that, I could not believe my ears. Really the key things, mind being the doer of action, how to engage your mind in devotion, through dhyan, breathing that way, everything like literally the effect. So we forget things if we don't do them regularly. So to keep their interest in children alive, to help them progress their devotion to Krishna and become more evolved, our intention is to give them everything they need to help this. And we want to continue this in the form of Gurukul. Swamiji has been a part of Gurukul. He's been around 20 years in the Texas ashram, and the Gurukul curriculum is being tried and tested in various centers in the world, particularly in centers in USA. We have a center in London. So there's some of the activities they do over there. They have in summer they have 8-week-long camps, and children absolutely love it. And the children who joined 20 years ago are very, very evolved souls who are using their human body to the best service. Then we have Radha Madhav Dham, which is where Swamiji is based. This is over 280 acres campus, one of the largest in there. And these are some of the pictures from Swamiji's previous. Can we go back one slide, please? Classes over there, and Didi also takes classes. So Didi was here in January. She'll be coming back a couple more times later this year. Swamiji will be coming back as well to give us these intense, fueling sessions, and then we'll keep up our speed until he comes back again. Next one. These are some of the other things we do for adults and children, all the talks and programs, all for one goal of helping everyone, increase their love for the God. There was a Gita camp exactly like ours in London last weekend, under Swamiji's guidance. And these are London Gurukul sessions. They're enjoying lots of different things. This one's from Holi recently. And hopefully we'll have some pictures like that very soon. Ours is going to start. We plan to start from very next week or next Sunday, actually. Yeah, so this is from our online classes that we've been doing. This is our class here. So while we were doing online classes, we've had requests for children who are aged between 13 to 18 years. And these requests are particularly from children and from adults to have separate sessions for them. But because they have studies to do on things, we've kept them half an hour. So quick, intense, and then they have a week to digest. But they're also in the morning because they're used to getting up in the morning for their studies. They're Saturday mornings. And then we have online classes for young children. So the teenager one is online currently. And the younger children who are not local, we have one for the evening on Saturday, where I have children not from Manchester, they're from different parts of the UK, including Wales and Scotland and India, for example. But when that changes to in time, we'll not have Indian children, I guess. But this is the one. That's the one that we're talking about. This the face-to-face one. So the current plan is we'll have it here Sunday mornings, 9:30 to 10:30 or 10 to 11. You know, whatever the parents prefer, but at this hall to start with, and it may move to a Temple Bay venue later on. But from next weekend, it's starting here. Can I be very cheeky and ask how many of you will be coming for them? How many would like to come for them? That's a better question to ask, isn't it? Oh God, every child would like to come. So how many parents are willing to bring their children if their child really wants? Yay, that's a very good reply. I'm very pleased to hear that. Now I want to see that translate into real practical sessions when you are coming. And the sessions are just as good as you can make them. The interaction you've had was great. So if we could keep it like that, I'm sure we will have a lot to learn from our children as well, but we'll also have a lot to give to our children. So that's my number. So I want to take a photograph, but you've got that from registration anyway. This is the most important one, I guess, because we want to increase it, build it. There's demand for more and more because it started with one and it's going to turn into 3 sessions just for next month. We would like people to come forward to volunteer and support. You will not be giving too much work and everything's on you and there you go. It's not like that. Just chip in with anything you can, even the smallest thing you can help us with. You could say, okay, one day I can set up a projector for you because that's one, and that's when I'm free. Or, one day I can help you create the material or slides or something like that. It could be anything. So we would appreciate any support you want to, give us, be involved in it. So if you are interested and you feel you can commit, please give your names to either myself or Nilima Didi was just here. She's here. She's been the one taking photographs all this time. So find one of us and please let's express your that's about it from me. I'm just going to say Radhe Radhe, but I'm going to see if you're going to be louder than me or is everyone hungry? Radhe Radhe!
Well, you have the mic. I think they did pretty well. So, Didi, this is starting next, what day? Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday morning.
Next Sunday morning, and you haven't decided on the time yet? Have you so decide karna padega?
Yeah, so I have booked the call from 9 to 12. The thinking is 10 to 11 to allow parents to get up with the youngsters and travel here. Does 10 to 11 sound all right, or would people prefer 9:30 to 10:30 so they can get on with their day, or is 10 to 11 better because then they don't have to rush to get up early and get here? What do people say? 10 to 11?
10 to 11 is better. I can answer for you.
10 to 11, yeah,
Let's be realistic here.
It's 10 to 11. If you're coming, just message me and we'll make a new group and we'll start it from next Sunday.
Okay, so now before lunch, we have 15 minutes left for those who want to continue to learn Dholak, harmonium, or we also have Manjira. So Dholak class will be on this side, harmonium class will be on that side, and Manjira will be in the middle. Swapna Didi, you'll take Manjira. Radhe Radhe. Other adults who know harmonium, I know some of you are studying it remotely. You can help the kids with the harmonium. Stay. Oh, you could sit in a chair. I mean, I can skip it. Ciao.